Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are analyzing the opening mantra of the Taittiriya Upanishad that we started in the morning, where it says that the knower of Brahman gains the ultimate. And where is this ultimate? What is this ultimate? Is explained as that which is sentient and that which is limitless. There can be only one thing that is like that. I is, even though it's grammatically wrong, I think you understand what I say. I is, and I know I am, and that knowingness cannot be cut away from my beingness. In other words, I am a knowing being. And how long does this knowing being last? All the Shastras, the Upanishad, the Bhagavad Gita, the analytical works called the Brahma Sutra, all the primary works tell us that this knowing being, which is self-evident means you don't have to ask anybody else if you are here, if you exist. Your existence does not depend on anybody else or any other force in the universe. This is a huge thing. Like, I have to say, this is a cup. The cup does not have the power to say, this is a human being and point to me. Neither does it know its own existence, nor does it know my existence. Like this, all the world of finite objects are like this cup. Starting with one's own body, mind, sense complex, they are all inert, and neither do they have self-awareness, nor do they have awareness of other things. In a way, it's good. Otherwise, I take some food and bring it to my mouth, and the spoon suddenly feels hungry. If the spoon were sentient, it would say, forget it, I'm hungry. And it would just gobble up the food. It would cause a lot of inconveniences. Imagine if the mic said, I'm tired of just amplifying the voice of so many teachers. I do have a few things to say about Vedanta, about yoga, about Sanskrit, whatever. I have my opinions. I'm going to talk about myself now. So it's good in a way that I am in the world where the knowing being is only myself. This doesn't mean that the rock is not Satyam Jnanam Anantam. The rock is Satchidananda. Oh, then what's the difference between object and subject? Rock is Satchidananda, I am Satchidananda, but only I have the power to say, I rock. Okay? The rock doesn't have that power. The rock cannot say that. Why? subtle body is absent. That subtle body I have. To be able to communicate the nature of this existence, to be able to know that I am put in a very, very special position to have this teaching, to have this knowledge. The human body, as we saw in the afternoon session, is the best name and form, Nam Rupa, to gain this knowledge. If one were a celestial, who would be eating bonbons in heaven. What is the point? And there would be no interest in this knowledge. And if one were an animal, one would be content with whatever one had, and then again there would be no impetus for this knowledge. The impetus to gain this knowledge comes when there is discontentment, and the discontent is known to me, painfully known to me. And I know also that this discontentment, this sorrow, this fear is an impostor, an interloper who needs to be gotten rid of. This is very, very important to know. So this Sat Chit Ananda, which is the same as Satyam, Jnanam, Ananta. Same thing. Sat Chit Ananda with reference to I, the one who is the indweller of this body-mind sense complex. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam with regard to Brahman from the collective standpoint. It's the same thing. Then the Upanishad elaborates the effects of gaining this knowledge. That was where we had stopped at a suspenseful note. We had said, what happens after you gain this knowledge? And then we were out of time, so we had to do it now. So, gaining this knowledge how? In the heart, as the heart. And the heart is seen, as I said in the morning class, as a cave filled with the vats of misconceptions, damp drops of depression, shadows that signify fear, doubt, despair, rain. And one is looking for God in this medley. How can it be found? That is why the light of knowledge is needed. It's not that God has to be brought from outside and put in the heart. God is already there in the heart, as the truth of oneself. It has to be recognized, owned up, assimilated. And therefore, the Upanishad says, the one who knows this as the truth of oneself gains what? Saha Ashnute gains. Sarvan Kama. All the desires are fulfilled for the one who knows Brahman in one stroke. All the desires, that's what the Upanishad says. All the desires. Just like when you know clay, then you don't have to do a PhD on each and everything made of clay. Every pot you don't have to measure and study, and every clay lid you don't have to measure and study, every jug, every figurine you don't have to study. If you know clay, the entire world of earthenware is as good as known to you. Same thing with the gold. If you know gold, then the world of ornaments is known to you completely. This is how, knowing one thing, you know everything. And if this can be true in the relative world of gold and clay, if you know fabric, you know all kinds of shirts. If this is true in the relative world, it must also be true in the absolute world. If you know Brahman as the only thing there is, you know everything. Why? Because Brahman is non-separate from everything. Everything is Brahman. Brahman transcends all name and form, but everything is Brahman. This is what has to be understood. And for that person who has this understanding, Upanishad makes a promise. Saha ashnute sarvan kaman brahmana vipashchita saha. The person who sees this, understands this, fulfills all their desires as Brahman, in the form of Brahman. They fulfill all their desires. Anybody who has tried to fulfill even one desire knows how hard it is. The more dear the desire, the more difficult it is to fulfill. And you keep fulfilling it and trying. You have to play acrobatics with karma. Karma denies the desire sometimes, or throws certain obstacles in the way. And so we know how difficult it is to fulfill one desire, or even to fulfill one desire after another desire after another desire. Sometimes after fulfilling one desire, like a big desire, I want to buy a house. There is no money for the next desire. And if there is money left after fulfilling some desire, there is no energy to fulfill the next desire. Like this, one is confronted with all kinds of limitations. So from this standpoint of being distorted by limitation, we are hard pressed to understand what the Upanishad says, that in one fell swoop, all the desires are fulfilled. That is why we have to take recourse to examples of clay and ornaments made of clay, objects made of clay, gold, and ornaments made of gold. We have to take recourse to these examples. These examples are also Upanishadic examples arising in the Chandogya Upanishad, the 6th chapter. And not knowing this is a very costly mistake, as one jeweler found out. This jeweler was a devotee of Svatmavidyananda ji, my guru. And one day he said to Swamiji, please come and inaugurate my jewelry shop. I have opened a new jewelry shop. You must come and inaugurate it. Swamiji said, I don't know how to inaugurate a shop. I've never done it before. No, you just cut the ribbon, enter the shop and bless the shop. Okay, I will come. And he went. All the ceremony was done, and he was inside the shop, gleaming cupboards, glass cupboards with all kinds of ornaments. And then the jeweler's devotee said to the Guru, you have come all this way, you have made me so happy. I want to express my gratitude. So I want to say, take one thing from my shop as a blessing. Just take one thing. Any one thing that you like, anything you like, you take one thing. And Swamiji said, are you sure? Yes, Swamiji, I'm sure. Take one thing. And Swamiji said, you keep the ornaments, I'll take the gold. One thing, gold. That would have been the shortest inauguration in history. Swamiji was just playing with him and teaching him. That's all it was. So, it's a very costly mistake not to know this. You can let go of the knowledge of objects. The knowledge of objects, if you do not know a few branches of knowledge, nothing happens. It's not a costly mistake. But not knowing the truth of oneself is a very costly mistake. That's what is the cause of samsara. That's what is the cause of pain and sorrow. Let us illustrate this with a story. There was a gold chain full of wonderful designs sitting on this woman's neck. And then what? There was a bangle adorning the woman's wrist. Let's say the golden bangle and the golden chain both had human minds. The chain was jealous of the bangle. Wherever the woman goes, the chain is not seen. The woman happened to be a hypochondriac, was always dressing in layers, panchakosham, 5 layers all the time. She was worried about getting sick. So the chain said, I have such a glorious design. I'm not appreciated. Nobody sees me. I feel invisible. This is not fair. And when I try my hardest to pick from her neck, she immediately puts one more layer. A little cough comes. She puts one more muffin. What is wrong with this woman? I feel stifled. I look at this stupid bangle. That's the first thing everybody sees. She says, hello, how are you? Everybody sees the bangle. She says, namaste. You see the bangle? And me, I have no job satisfaction. In fact, I belong to a higher class than the bangle. I am more big, more having better design than this stupid bangle. This was the chain of sorrow. Meanwhile, the bangle was not having a great time either. The bangle also, don't forget, had a human mind. The bangle started to say, you know, I was so chubby when this lady first chased me. And she is the clumsiest oaf that I have ever encountered. Turns like this, and it gets banged against the table. Suddenly she turns like this, bangs me against the door. Each time I get a shock. Terrible. I get a headache. In fact, my whole body is aching. And this woman is always washing her hands, especially after food. Anything she touches, she washes the hand. And I'm worried that all my glow, my glitter, just become dull. Plus, I'm just banged around here and there all the time. Maybe that's why I'm called bangle. And even without talking to one another. Both of them, the chain and the bangle, independently had an idea, the same idea in nightly prayers. What was that idea? Oh God, said the chain, in my next life, please make me a bangle. No more chain, no more chain. No more chain of fears, no more chain of sorrows. I want to be abandoned, glorious, visible, having job satisfaction. And what did the bangle say? Any guess? Oh Lord, please make me in my next life what? Chain. Make me a golden chain. Because this is no way to live. I need an upgrade. I want to be dear to this lady. I want to sit in her heart, on top of her heart, not somewhere where I say, Tathastu, so be it. In the next life, our chain has become what? Bangle, bracelet. And our bangle has now become the chain. The bangle turned chain is very, very happy with its new life until the woman starts putting on sweaters. The bangle turned chain is used a lot of fresh air, used to be out in the elements. And she's like, this is so claustrophobic, what's happening? Help! I didn't understand that to be a chain would be to be get stifled, to be strangled. What is going on? Similarly, the chain turned bangle was also very, very happy. For how long? 5 minutes. Ah, this is the way. Ah, yes, I'm visible, fine. And then what? Clang, bang. And the chain was very protected here all the time, sitting in the heart and being layered. Layers of protection. And it passed out. The chain turned bangle. And it came through like this. Oh, what happened? Oh my God, that was intense. That's terrible. And then the woman washed her hands. And then again the chain turned bangle said, I'll catch a cold. I can't have so much water in my life. And they both prayed at night again. Guess what was their prayer? Oh God, the chain turned bangle said, please make me back into a chain. And then the bangle turned chain. What was that now? First the chain turned bangle. See, to keep on top of this. Chain turned bangle said, please make me a chain. The bangle turned chain said, please make me a back to a bangle. This is how life goes on. This is exactly what happens when I take as real that which is not real. This does not mean that the manifest universe is an illusion. We would not say that. If the manifest universe is an illusion, if anybody tells you that, then everything else is also an illusion. So, the manifest universe is real. Why is it real? because I see it, you see it, we all see it, we all interact with it, we interact with one. To assimilate Vedanta, the first thing that needs to be done to really deeply live this reality is to call the bluff of the universe. The universe has an existence, but what kind of an existence does it have? It has a dependent existence. It does not independently exist. It does not exist independently of you. If you were not there, the universe also would not be there. This is how we have that famous Buddhist, how do you say it? Koan, whatever it is. If a redwood tree falls in the forest where there are no people, will it make a sound? And of course, if you're a scientist, if you're a physicist, what will you say? Yes, it will make a sound. Of course, it will make a sound. The laws of physics and the moving velocity and the heaviness, the mass of the body that is falling will decide how much sound it will make. That's what you will tell me. Then what? Sound, call something a sound. Is it a sound practice? To call something a sound when there is no ear to hear. This is really good for how? How can I call it a sound when the sound has not been heard and registered and cognized? Only when it is heard, it's a sound. Otherwise, it's not a sound. And so therefore, the world is dependent on me, not the me who is the owner of this body, mind, sense complex, the ahankara, the I-ness, but the me that is Brahman, the me that is the all-knowing being, as though conditioned by this upadhi or the body, mind, sense complex. So the entire world of names and forms is dependent upon my five sense organs to be brought to light. Entire world. If not my five sense organs, my powers of inference, which is again knowledge, my powers of comparison, these are all various ways of knowing. Comparison, inference, one-step inference, multi-step inference, all of these I read, I use in order to objectify all the names and forms, starting with my own body in this universe. Do you see now how the universe is a dependent reality? Yes? Because it is not independent of me, the cognizing force in the universe that ratifies my existence. I am evident to myself, and the whole universe becomes evident to me. When I truly grasp this reality, then I am no longer under the spell of this disconnect. I am no longer under the spell of samsara, under the spell of pain, sorrow, fear. These are the accoutrements of samsara. This is the first thing I have to understand. I am Satyam, Sat. Everything else is, we can't say Asat. Asat means non-existent. We don't say the world is non-existent. We say Mithya, dependent existence. It enjoys a dependent existence. And so that which depends upon me for existence, how can it scare me? How does it have the power to make me sad when it is dependent upon me for its own existence? This is what I have to do. This is on the absolute level. So therefore, this knowledge becomes very, very, very. Then on the pragmatic level, we can help ourselves to a few attitudes and values that help us to, that assist in assimilating this knowledge. The first one is to be able to laugh at oneself. Take everything because life is comical. What we do is comical. Even Bhagavan has a sense of humor. As we have seen how karma unfolds in our life, Bhagavan must be the funniest being, really. So we have to laugh. In fact, in India, there is, what is that called? Ha ha therapy. Every street corner, people just get together and laugh at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going for a walk. And then I hear ha 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 ha. You know, first it is all forced and then naturally they start laughing. Because that is the reality. And so there are these ha ha clubs at every block, basically. And this is one way of living the joy that is there. One is. That's an important point. Don't take things too seriously. Oh, it has to be this way. Right. Oh, otherwise things will go wrong. Let them go wrong once in a while. All right. It's not the end of the world. Then the next point is to turn down the drama quotient from the life. Drama becomes important when there is trauma. Trauma always engenders drama. And why is that? It is like this because the trauma which hasn't been processed is now being processed in public because the person wants attention. Or perhaps the person grew up in a family that only knew how to care for one another if there was drama. And sometimes growing up in this atmosphere of drama, If everything is going well, the person gets anxious. One person came and said to me, I'm worried, I'm anxious. I said, why? How are you having trouble in your marriage? No, it's fine. Are your children not going to school or college or studying? They're not studying properly. No, they're doing a great. Are there financial difficulties? No. Then what's the problem? This is the problem, Swamiji, is that there is no problem and it's freaking me out. That's because one is used to drama. How to drop the drama? You don't have to drop the whole drama. You just drop the D from drama. What is that? Rama. That's what we want. Take recourse to Rama, then the drama automatically gets dropped. Yeah. Here a Rama, there a Rama, everywhere Rama, Rama. No more drama when there is only Rama. That means what? Drop the drama by forging a conscious and a real relationship with the Lord. It has to become real. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have, you don't have to do 16-step puja, you don't have to do yajna, you don't have to do anything. Bhagavan himself says in the 9th chapter, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachya. One who offers it with bhakti, whatever it is, patram, a leaf, pushpam, a flower, phalam, piece of fruit, toyam, if nothing is available, just some water. The person has to be a bhakta, has to be what is called in the Bhagavad Gita as a prayatatman. Prayatatma means one who is focused on moksha, one who is preparing the mind for that. So this devotion has to be cultivated. And even if it feels fake in the beginning, especially if it's not the culture that you have grown up with, and you feel silly, this is a brass idol. And here I'm going like this, offering water and raisins and nuts. What's wrong with me? I must be the nut. This is what the feelings will come. But it is all esoteric. You are not worshipping an idol. It's all idol talk. The idol is a way, is a symbol representing Bhagavan. All kinds of relationships are based on symbols. Times. Hello. It's a symbol. Bye. It's a symbol. How do you do? It's a symbol. Please come in and have a seat. Symbol. This is how. It's all form. And through form alone, nothing will happen. First of all, the formless cannot be related to the formless being you. The formless does not need to be related to. But this is a tradition so rich and the philosophy so complete and so non-dual. That which has forms is also Bhagavan. non-separate from Bhagavan. So what I have in the world are forms of worship, forms of prayer. Even Bhagavan is in the form, is in a form. Even those religions that say that, that we say God is formless. They also have forms to connect to this formless. They sing West, having certain ways of invoking. All these are forms. So we have a simple altar and make what is on your altar meaningful by making it into a talking journal. Just like you write the journal, here go in front of Bhagavan, in front of your altar and talk. You must be having a nice day because what other day can you have? Look at me. Look at what you have done to me. Even this becomes a prayer. In our culture, it's not blasphemy. Why is it so difficult for you? What have you done? How could you do this? And how long I have been praying for this? Can't you change this? Can't you give me what I want? So many people, useless things they ask and you give them all the time. I see all around me, all the people getting things. And here I'm asking for one thing. And you are troubling me. It's all prayer. Prayer in the form of a catharsis is still prayer. So some days it will be catharsis, some days it will be anger, some days it will be fearful, some days it will be fearful. Still, catch hold of the altar of surrender as though your life depended upon it. So much so that if you leave in a hurry without offering those nuts, you should go nuts and you should need to come back. Turn around the car, come back. Something is incomplete. I haven't done this. Bhagavan is without water, Bhagavan is without food. This should be the sentiment. Then the bhakti is complete. Not that Bhagavan wants the food or the water. Nothing. Bhagavan wants you. But this relationship is going to benefit one by creating a wonderful security blanket between oneself and difficulties in the world. Because this relationship becomes an unshakable place where one can grow. Grow to understand the truth of so many things that we have been speaking about. So this way, when I develop this devotion, nothing can go wrong, really. I am in God consciousness. Being in God consciousness is not thinking about God. Okay, first thought God, second thought God, third thought dog, because I saw one. And then suddenly God turned into dog. We don't have that problem. God is not an object that is enclosed by a thought. For us, God is not a matter for belief. Ishvara, Bhagavan is a matter for understanding. So being in God awareness, God consciousness is Ishvarizing, Bhagavanizing, if that's a word, the whole world of names and names. So in the beginning, you see what is on your altar alone as well. Then, because of the bhakti, you start seeing the Lord, the Goddess, everywhere. And then From that place, it is moksha is a shooting, really. Moksha is dancing at the door because you have a perfect interior decor. This is what one has to cultivate. Then I will say, one has to study this knowledge. It's not enough to have the practical tips without the teaching. The teaching is a systematic body of knowledge, thousands of years systematically unfolded in a manner that is very joyous and easy to understand, to discover and to connect with the joy of the self. So wherever you get the opportunities, invite Vedanta into your life. Nowadays there are so many ways you can listen. There is the social media, there is internet, everything. Have a practice of listening regularly. That will make a difference. And then finally, a note which will answer the question that is often forms after these kinds of talks. How will I know that I am growing in this knowledge? How will I know what are the characteristics that I have to look for to see that I am making progress? First, the frequency of the drama in my life goes down. The more the drama, less the drama. Before I was accustomed to having, let us say, 3 meltdowns per day. Now I don't have as many. And not only that, I do not miss them either. Second, the first is frequency of the drama comes down. Drama includes conflict, includes tantrums, includes so many things. Meltdowns, everything. Second, the intensity of the attack, anatma attack, where the objects loom large in my consciousness and I give them the power to destroy me, to mess with my emotions. That also goes down. Before, if I was upset, I would have to be, let us say, under the covers for a whole week. Now, after 5 minutes, I'm able to get up, dust myself off, and go about my day. And that leads to the last one, the recovery time from any kind of a mishap, difficulties, karma attack in the life is also less. The frequency, the intensity, and the recovery times of coming back to myself are all less. Drama is gone. This is how I know I'm making progress in this path. And when I embrace the fear, when I embrace the sorrow, it goes away. Final point. The more I run away from fear and sorrow, I give it the power to chase me. If I turn around and embrace it, where did the fear go? Where did the sorrow go? disciplines. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you.